Hey y'all, what's up and welcome back to It's the Bree Show. And in this video, um I wanted to make this video and just talk about my experience like on my spiritual journey and just kind of the things that I went through. Because honestly, I feel like people don't talk about enough like how much the shit really changes you. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, so let's get into that. Story time, right? Okay. So, just starting off, right? My spiritual journey, my spiritual awakening, as people like to call it, whatever, right? So, kind of how it happened, because it's a gradual thing. I want to talk about my own personal experience and perspective, right? Okay, because it's a lot of people, right, that'll talk about like, oh, like their spiritual awakening, and blase blah, right? But I feel like a lot of people, I'm speaking as far as like people on the outside who may not understand or may not be there yet. They don't really get it, a lot of them. And they, like, I feel like it's a huge misconception, like, that people think it's just like a quick thing, like you just wake up and you're like this, this guru or something, right, of a person. And it's like, no, it's gradual. You know what I'm saying? It's like it literally happens gradually, over seconds, minutes, hours, days, weeks, months, years, right? So just going from going back to the beginning, right? It was about 2018. Okay, I'm going on break, spring break. I mean, not spring break, summer break from college, right? So I have been through so much, you know what I'm saying? Just from childhood up, okay? A lot of shit. But especially, I can say my relationships is what sparked, is really what sparked my awakening. And I would say, when I say awakening and spiritual awakening, I would say my definition of it is literally you just waking the fuck up. It's like it's something within you. Your soul finally starts to come alive. I mean, you've been alive, obviously. But on a soulful level, on a spiritual level, you know what I'm saying? It's like that's when you finally start to rise from the dead. And that's kind of how I look at the story of Jesus, not in a literal sense, but just in that way, like Jesus rising from the dead, a phoenix rising from its ashes. That's why my social media name is Phoenix. And Jesus rising from the dead, you rising out of what once was, you transforming, you becoming again, becoming someone new, going through a rebirth, right? A spiritual rebirth, right? So anyway, right? So yeah, so I'm coming back, and also too, y'all, okay? I'm just finding out, like, I Pisces in the 7th house, because my moon falls in Aries, which falls in the 7th house, but Pisces actually rules my 7th house, right? Because I'm a Virgo rising. So yeah, so anyways, right? I'm coming home, okay, from college, whatever. I'm already like broken. I'm broken. I'm lost. I ain't gonna lie. I'm lost. I'm broken at this point, right? I knew that I wanted to, I knew that I wanted to finish school because, for my family, and I've always wanted to like be my own entrepreneur. Like I've always hated working for somebody. I'm Aries moon. I got the sun in the 10th house. I got a Gemini midhaven. Okay. I get bored very, very easily. And I like to be my own boss. Like, so I knew that was something I wanted to do. My minor was psychology, okay, because I've always been big on understanding people's minds. I studied sociology in high school. So yeah, like I just knew that was something that I wanted to do, but just school itself, I knew that I wasn't really happy. Like I wasn't really satisfied. I wasn't fulfilled. That's the word. I was not fulfilled. And it was so much shit that I had went through in college that I don't even feel like I know like motherfuckers go through shit in college. But the shit that I went through, like, and I don't know what it is. Like, I don't know, it's because I have a Sag Lilith in 3rd house. I don't know why. But the shit that I went through, I don't feel like anybody, and I don't want to just, I have a Leo Mercury, so I don't want to like make it seem like I'm just being so dramatic. That's why I don't really like talking about myself that much or my story, because I be feeling like I don't know, I be thinking too much. But I don't feel like anybody should have to go through that shit. You know what I'm saying? In college. Like, I don't feel like that is what it is. That's not, like, you shouldn't have to go through that shit. You know what I'm saying? Just for the sake of being able to say, I got this degree at the end. Okay, that's my personal opinion. I'm not gonna get all into it, but I'm just gonna leave it there. So anyways, I wasn't really fulfilled. No, I wasn't really fulfilled. No, mommy. Well, hold on. Y'all, she do this every time I'm doing a video. I wasn't really fulfilled. I wasn't really happy. And then I don't know, like something with, and this is what I'm saying. Like, it's like my soul started to awaken, It's like something within me just started to ask questions and wonder, and you know what I mean? And religion. I started looking into religion, right? Because I got to this point where I'm like, you know what if I go to school for what they be calling it, like theology or whatever, right? The study of religion. Because that's something too I've always been curious with. And my family is very like all over the place. Like, I mean, my dad's side, they kind of all like quote unquote like Christians, but my mom's side is kind of all over the place. Like, my mom is a Christian, but my uncle is a Muslim. My grandma, she a Christian, but not really. Like, she just, it's just like whatever. And my cousins and stuff, like, they're atheists. Like, my family is all over the place with it. So and I've always met, like, I have Venus in the 12th house. I've always like attracted different types of people from different beliefs, different backgrounds, different places. I've always had friends or just cool with people who were from different countries, different places. Like, I just always been, or at least tried to be, open-minded to different beliefs and cultures, you know what I'm saying? Especially my uncle being a Muslim, you know. That's why like I learned a little bit of Arabic, you know what I'm saying, as a kid. And I used to go to like the mosque and stuff like that. So it's just and it was very different than how I, you know, I like well my mama was teaching me at home and going to a Baptist church and blah blah blah, blah whatever, right? So anyways, I always been interested in shit like that. So I wanted to learn more, y'all. So I started studying and stuff, religion. I started doing research. Y'all know I'm a Virgo rising, so nothing but research, Gemini Midhaven. That's all that I wanted to broadcast. That's all that I really wanted to be on and be about. Okay, I kind of became a hermit that year in 2018, that summer. Like I didn't really, you know, I kind of like stood like kept more so to myself. That's when I started to separate from my friends. I started to separate, period. And it was just so much information. You know, and then I ended up like meeting a Muslim dude. He was a security guard at a freaking, I think I was like at a IRS, not IRS, not IRS, I forgot what it's called, but it's like when you for your social security card, right? And then he knew Louis Farrakhan, and if y'all know, he's like a big leader in the in the black community. Muslim, it's different types of like Muslim beliefs, but with the NOI and all that stuff, and I kind of went that way because the people I was meeting and associated with, and then I ended up going it just going from there. And I started getting books and all type of stuff, studying a bunch of stuff, but then I started to realize like, okay, this not really for me. Being Muslim like this, and that's not no hate or nothing towards anybody that's Muslim, but just me personally, that I started to realize and see like, okay, this is not for me, right? But I learned a lot, you know, And then from there, I went into like Egyptian faith, African spirituality, you know, Yoruban culture, you know what I'm saying? All type of different shit, Wicca, you know, that I want Buddhism, like all type of different shit. I wanted to be open to learn and to understand. And I was guiding myself, you know what I mean, in the end. So that's just all I had. But I didn't have nobody. I mean, I had a mentor, right? But it got to a point where I didn't want to depend on her anymore. You know what I mean? And shout out to my Leo mentor, my spiritual mentor. She was the first person to ever do and teach me tarot, right? But I didn't want to depend on her anymore. So I wanted to go, and especially as an Aries moon, I wanted to go my own way. I wanted to kind of detach from being dependent on her. So that's what I did. And of course, taking, you know, some of her advice and things like that. But just you know, again, my soul was waking up. So I'm like, okay, you know what? I don't need to be too attached. So with everything that I started to get involved into, to learn, to study, to understand, I got to a point where, okay, I cannot be too detached. I mean, I cannot become too attached to this, to whether it's this thing, this belief, you know, or this person, whatever. So, and this was before I even really started to become grounded in who I am, right? I'm still just learning, just collecting information, you know, meeting different people, just out and about, you know, studying, researching, all type of shit. You know, she taught me meditation. You know, that's when I started meditating all the time, all that stuff. So, but I'm like, every time it's like time go by, and I get to a point where I'm like, okay, I need to break away from this. I need to detach from this because I've been too motherfucking attached. You know what I mean? And then I kind of like break away, you know, and still hold certain like values and, you know what I'm saying, certain things that I learned from it. But I don't know. I just knew I cannot become too attached. Like, and I didn't know why, but that's just what I felt inside. Like, I it's I'm not supposed to be doing this. Like, I'm not supposed to be so deep into this, because it's like, what is the difference from that and from what I was doing, or what I was taught to do, with religion, what I was taught to do with Christianity. How is that any different, right? That's what I'm supposed to be breaking away from. So I can't go into something else, or, what I'm saying, with or learning from someone else, and then I become attached to that, or I become attached to that person and their teachings, and are just always needing that information or that validation. You know what I mean? I don't know. It's just something within me. I'm like, I can't. So I just kept moving. But I think that the thing is, I wish I would have knew, but it's okay, because we go, everybody goes through their own journeys and stuff like that. Everybody learns at their own timing and pace. But the thing that I wish I would have knew definitely, was that you don't have to. Spirituality has nothing to do with being alone or by yourself. Really, the power of it is when you can go by yourself, go alone, you know what I'm saying, go in the dark, transform, shed, change, but then when you come out, be able to relate that to others, just like the story of Jesus, right? Jesus wasn't just all alone. He didn't separate and isolate himself from everybody else. No. He was still Jesus. And he still went amongst the hoes and the pimps and the drug dealers and the scammers and the strippers and the you know what I'm saying? He still was with them. He didn't let the world taint his space. He was still Jesus amongst, a world or a room, full of sheep, right? So that's just to say that is something I wish I would have knew, or understood then. Like, you don't have to just completely separate yourself or detach yourself from everything or from everyone just because you are going through this journey, just because you are going through this transformation. And this video is really, talking to the people who are new to this and kind of going through these changes and stuff, or eventually who will, but you don't know, like me at the time, you don't know how to be quote unquote normal. It's not about being normal. If you're going through your spiritual awakening, you ain't normal, babe. So don't try to be normal. But I mean, as far as like still being a human, still being able to function in society, still being able to relate to people and stuff like that, and not like just being so like so spiritual, to so high, right? Basically to the point where you can't ever come down, or can't nobody ever like touch you, and it's like it gets lonely up there. It gets lonely up there, and that's not really what life is about. So yeah, like that's definitely like a piece of advice that I would give to, anybody who is like new in a journey, or again, or who will eventually, have go through their transition. you don't have to completely cut off the world, you know. Do what you have to do and cut off those that you know aren't for you, or that you know is like just draining your energy, or really just wasting your time. But for the ones who, they may not be where you're at yet, but they respect you, they still love you, they still support you, they're still there for you, even throughout your changes. Keep those people around, you know. And even people that you may not necessarily know, just still be open to anything, you know. Don't shut yourself out, or don't shut yourself from new possibilities because you think that it's only supposed to look one way or be one way, right? And it's the same thing when it comes to like relationships and shit. Like, don't be so quick to always just, don't, now use your discernment. Don't accept just whatever. You know what I mean? Don't settle ever. But at the same time too, don't be so quick to judge a book by its cover, basically. You know what I mean? So yeah, I don't know. I just wanted to make that video and just let people know that it's no specific way that you have to be or look or nothing like that. You know what I mean? And most definitely do not let these people online or in the world make you think that you have to completely just separate yourself from the world or from everything, because you don't. At the end of the day, you still gonna be in the world, so it don't really matter how much you think you're not in it, or think you're still in it. So you got to deal with it. You know what I mean? And so that's what I kind of look at it like, the saying, what would Jesus do? Because the Bible is symbolic anyway. It's all allegories. So it's like, when you look at it though, in the story of Jesus, it's like, okay, and then you ask yourself, well, what would Jesus do? Jesus would still be out here, being a real nigga, still being his own individual spirit, right? Still having his own mind, still being his own spirit, having his own mind, right? But he's still out here. He's still connecting with people. He's still relating to people, right? He's still utilizing his gifts, for the world or for others. You know what I mean? He didn't just completely isolate and go hide in the fucking woods or in a fucking hut for the rest of his life. Oh, I'm Jesus, I'm God, and I can't. No. He was with the real niggas. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, that's what we gotta remember. That's what you gotta remember, even going through your journey, even going through your changes. You know what I'm saying? Remember that, to ask yourself, what would Jesus do? You know what I mean? And also to be like, go through, everybody's gonna go through their own experiences, but also to be mindful of a lot of the information that you're taking in, because a lot of this shit, especially when you're first going through your journey, it can put you in fear. It can put you so deep into the dark where you don't even want to step out into the light, because now you scared of everything and you scared of the world. And it can really get scary. It can really, really make you feel scared. So also too, be mindful of the information that you're taking in, because everything ain't necessarily just what people make it seem. You know what I mean? A lot of people live in dark truths, but that doesn't have to be you. So don't Don't let other people make you feel like, oh, this is just everybody's truth, because it's not. It's only a certain group of people who live like that. So just, again, like I was just saying, just be mindful too. Like, you know, it's gonna be all type of information, all type of shit that's gonna be hitting you, and you're not gonna know, like, damn, is it true, is it not, and that's why a lot of people, they'll get into it, they'll start doing all this shit, jumping into all this shit, they think they know and they don't, and then they turn right back to religion or Christianity. Oh, this why I stopped believing in or doing this and that, I'm a Christian again, da 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 da. And it's like, no, you're just lost again. You're just lost again, you know. But being a Christian for you right now, that's probably good for you. That's probably what will actually keep your ass sane. Some people need it. Some people need a crutch. You know what I mean? Some people need that, like, that extra cushion to sit on. Everybody ain't mentally strong like that. So, you know, you don't got to judge people, but if you ready to really learn, if you ready to really see the truth of the world and break through all these fucking illusions, then you have to be ready to let shit go. You know what I mean? But you don't have to completely isolate yourself. You know what I mean? Still keep the people around you who do care about you, who do support you. You know, keep them around. And that's just something that I wish I would have, you know, known or been more aware of at the time. But that's something that I had to go through and learn. And that's just a piece of advice that I wanted to share with you guys. And anybody who you may know that is new to their journey, or you know, if you're going through it right now, or if you come across this video later on and you're going through it, okay, at the time, hey, what would Jesus do?